What's up, coders? How you doing today? I'm doing good. Welcome back. Today I want to do a little bit of HTML5. So let's just jump right into it. I've got my folder code, HTML code. I'm just going to create a new folder inside of here, and we'll just do YouTube site. Go into there. Let's generate a link. Index.html. Make sure that you remove the text. You can do this inside of your text editor as well. Enter, yes. And also make sure the main HTML file you are working with, make sure it is named index. Has to be named index. That's what the server looks for. So we'll go ahead and open up our editor, and let's just do, I'm using Visual Studio Code. Boink. Right there. And throw it over here. Let's just do this for now. So now we've got two windows open. Boink. Index.html. I'm using Emmet plugin. It comes already pre-installed with Visual Studio Code, and what that means is I can just type exclamation mark and that, and holy cow, let's make that bigger for you guys. Go into settings, and editor font size is 14 by default. Let's change that up for you. I've already got a comma there, so we do, what is it? Editor font size is, let's do 24. That should be good for you. Better. Okay, so it generates a HTML template with some meta tags in there already. We're going to go ahead and link our style sheet to it, which we have not created yet. And later on, I'm going to get into SAS and LESS and SCSS and that kind of stuff. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple. I'm gearing these towards the beginner. I was a beginner once, and I wish I had the resources that are available now. Hopefully some of the stuff I put out you will find helpful. If you're a seasoned veteran in HTML and everything web, then you can just move right along or just have fun watching these little tutorials. But let's continue here. So I will get into Bootstrap and Materialize CSS frameworks later, but right now we're just going to focus mainly on just the raw HTML, and I will warn you, it is ugly. The HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's just the foundational language of the web. Everything, every website you see is made with HTML. The browser renders HTML, whether it's XHTML or any other version of it, it just renders HTML. So CSS is cascading style sheets. That's what adds the styling that makes everything look pretty like this. HTML, let's just get into it real quick. Let's just do a heading 1. And with Emmet, you can just type H1 and tab, and then boom, there we go. We have our opening H1 tag and our closing H1 tag. And that's really just all HTML is. It's just a series of opening and closing tags, and your content goes in between. There are a few exceptions. A link is it's called a self-closing tag. You notice there's no closing link tag. It's not rendering any content onto the web page. It's referencing in this case external content from an external style sheet, which we don't have yet. Let's just go ahead and do that. CSS folder. Inside the folder, let's create our style. .css. And one other thing real quick. Highly recommend it. Go, if you're using Visual Studio Code, go to your extensions and go ahead and type in live-server. And I already have it installed. So what that's going to do is in your HTML file, It has to be in a HTML extension. It won't work in CSS or JavaScript, but in HTML you can right click and you can open with live server, give it permissions for your firewall, whatever, and then boom, you can see we're running a local host on port 5500, and we're looking at our index.html. Close this. So what this means is whenever we make a change, hello, and we Control S or Command S to save it, we don't have to come over here and hit the reload because that's just too much work. We just want to be able to hit save and then boom. And let me just point out real quick, that's one of the reasons I stopped using Sublime Text. I used it for like 2.5 years. I loved it. It's a great text editor. It still is. I mean, you can see I've got it right here on my navigation bar still. And I still use it when I'm not making videos. The problem with it is every 10 saves, it prompts you to buy a license, and the license for it is like $80. And I feel like for just a regular text editor, that's a little pricey. If I were purchasing an IDE, integrated development environment like NetBeans or JetBrains or something Java or Python, you know, it would be worth it then. But just a text editor, $80 for text editor is a little expensive. I mean, you got other text editors, Notepad++. Whoops, it's right there, and it's free and it's pretty versatile. You can do a lot of different plugins on that. Basically, all your text editors, you're going to be able to put, or most of your text editors, you're going to be able to put your own little custom add-ons, widgets, whatever you want to call them, make them personal to you. But Notepad++ is free, Visual Studio is free, Code is free, and we'll just move on from there. I recommend it. Also, I didn't show you, once we get into the command line, it's got a terminal built into it, and you can add your git bash to it, your command line, your shell, whatever. It's pretty cool. So you can just run your, instead of opening up a external command line, you can just use it within your browser or within your editor. So it's the closest thing to an IDE without being an IDE, and it's free and it's awesome. So heading tags. So we have an H1, that is your largest heading tag, and it goes all the way to H6. You see H2 is a little bit smaller, and then H3, it's even smaller. Save that, and then it goes all the way to 6. So you'll just, I don't want to type it all out, but H6 is the smallest one, and you can see it's pretty small. And just out of curiosity, you can type a P and a tab for a paragraph, and we can just do some Lorem. This is another thing that comes with Visual Studio Code. Does not work in Atom. Atom will generate Lorem ipsum dummy code, dummy text, but in Visual Studio Code you can tell it how many words you want. So like Lorem 30 I said, will give you 30 characters or 30 words of dummy text. So I was just saying, you can see H heading 6 is smaller than your normal paragraph. But anyway, while we're here, there's a paragraph. And then with HTML5, it has added a lot of other cool elements. It used to be you would just have this website just full of divs. I mean, it would just be divs inside of divs inside of divs. HTML5 kind of simplified that. You can have a section. Let's just get rid of this stuff. Just remember H1 through H6 is your headings. Typically the beginning, like the main content of a web page, the intro, whatever, will be your H1, your largest, and then from there it's H2s, H3s, whatever fits. So the new elements in HTML5, you can have a header. So everything inside your header, you know, it could be your logos. You can do an image, and then I don't have any images or anything in there right now, but that would generate a little logo up here, and of course you would style it and size it in your CSS. And then it gives you a nav, element, which a lot of times, basically every time, you're going to have your navigation bar, and I'm just using Emmet here, so you can do an unordered list, which is UL, a greater than sign, an LI for your list items. So we're generating a unordered list with, this is times 3, so with 3 list items. Hit tab, and I clicked away, so it didn't do it. There we go. So now we've got that, and we can do home, about, and I don't know, contact. And later on, we will get into these pages. We'll create our home page, and then we will create our contact page. There we go. Excuse me. I'm actually going to do this. I should have put anchor tags in there. So an anchor tag is what turns it into a link. So save it now. You'll notice that there's an underline. And let's just do this real quick. Let's just put a style tag right there, and let's just give everything the font size of 20 pixels. This could be ridiculous. There you go. I have a really high resolution monitor, so it shows stuff really small in there. But there, when you wrap any words or elements, you can wrap an element. I'll show you right here. We can do a href, and href is it's called an attribute. Its attribute is part of the a element, the a tag, and this href tells you where you want to navigate to. So if we were, let's just do this. I can do https://google.com, and now if we save it, and this whole link, if you notice, the home, just the word home, is underlined for a link. And that's because I put the A tag inside of the LI. On this one, you notice the bullet point, I can hover over it. The bullet point is also part of the link. That's because I put the A tag on the outside of the LI. So it's just a little bit of trickery there. But the about, if I click on it, it's going to take me to google.com because the href says google.com. Now, if you're doing navigation within your own website and you want to go to about and say you've got this really long, tall web page where if you click about it scrolls down to the about section, then this is great. You would just do an ID, like if the about section had an ID of about, you just reference the ID. Hashtag is ID. A dot is a class. We'll get more into that later when we jump into CSS. It'll make more sense. But right now, this is referencing an anchor with an ID of about. That would be, way down here in like the section element. We can give it like an ID of main, and then it could be we'll just put a H2 and about, and just for kicks, let's just give this the ID of about. I'll just show you real quick. And then right here, let's just create a div, tab, and it's really not good to do this. Never do this. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes only, but it's called inline styling. And I'll get more into that later, but not a good thing to do right here. So margin, let's do margin top because I want to push all the content down. Let's just do 800 pixels. That should be good. So now if I scroll down, I have an about section. So right now in my navigation right here, I have the about link. So when I click it, it's going to jump to the about section. So we click it and boom. And if there was more content below it, it typically shoots it up to the top of the screen. So the heading would be at the top and all the about section would be shown right there. But I don't have anything underneath it right now, so it's just to show you that you can jump around to it. And then you can even do a little anchor tag right here, and this can be home, right? And then the header, just it's the top element, so we can just give it an ID of home, and right here we can say back to top. We can save that, and boom, back to top, and we click it, it jumps us back. So a little bit of on-page navigation. It gets way more detailed than that, but right now that's just a simple little explanation of it. And so what do we have? Let's get rid of this. No inline styling, that's bad. Let's just get rid of that. So we have a navigation, and let's just do something real quick. Let's here, and let's just do icons. We'll just do a Google search, and maybe see if Google can find something. Google, hello. Apparently my internet is not wanting to do anything right now. Okay. So we won't do that. Let's go to Font Awesome, CDN. Oh, now Google shows up. Font Awesome, CDN. It's raining really bad here, and I think that's messing up my little internet connectivity. Wow. So the lag is real. We've got a minute load time. Anyway, well, it's doing its thing. Could be that I'm running a live server too, and it's slowing down the connection speed. Okay, well, we'll do this in a different video. I was going to put a Font Awesome icon up here. Up here, I said. But for right now, let's just do a span under content. Let's just do, this usually goes down in the bottom, 2018 already, and Dan. So just to show you that the heading, or the header, is, we'll just reference that real quick with some CSS. Let's just give it a border of 1 pixel, solid red, just so you can see it. Excuse me. Padding 0, margin 0. So it just shows you that the heading is right now in the red border, just to show you where that is, the navigation. We can do the same thing with nav. Actually, let's just do this, comma, nav, so the header and nav have it. Second thought, let's do nav with a border of 1 pixel, solid yellow. Or blue, I said. That's better. So you can see the two different sections here. We've got our nav and our header, just show you how it's split up. And you know, a lot of times you can see on web pages they'll have the what are they, social media or little contact information. Sometimes you'll see a phone number or an address up here just across the top, and then they'll have the main navigation, and then they might have a big showcase with an image. And that's something I would like to build with y'all. And then the about, and then that's the about sections, that's a section, and then our back to top button, which isn't going to do anything because we're all up here now. So anyway, just to kind of show you a little breakdown of the sections. Footer, and that's going to be another and copy, and 2018 what? 2018 Dan. And there's our footer, and then the footer can have a background of black and a color of white. And there you go. We've got the world's crappiest website. But if you followed along, congratulations, you have built the world's crappiest website. We will continue more later on the next video. And yeah, sorry. What? Almost done. Okay, sorry. Life happens. Excuse me. We will continue off. Do something with this. We'll do some styling. We'll add more content to it. And it's going to be amazing and it's fantastic. And it's not going to be the worst website in the world. We might even build one of the best websites in the world. We will see. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. And don't forget to thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't. And if you liked it, there will be many more videos of these to come. We will get into JavaScript, vanilla, flavoring. And I will do some other frameworks too. We'll get into, like I said, Bootstrap and Materialize for your CSS. And we'll do some Angular and Vue.js for your JavaScript and some jQuery. And then HTML, we'll just keep adding on to what we've learned already and just moving forward. So appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Ciao.